Welcome to Dumb Dominos podcast. I'm Chase.
Josh.
Zach.
And we're here to talk about Kenobi Episode 3. Now, I wasn't really sure when this episode was going to drop. We knew last Friday, Episode 1 and 2, so I was really surprised that it dropped today.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be every Friday kind of deal.
I was used to Halo coming out, like each episode of Halo. So like I was expecting it to come out like Thursday or Friday, and it ended up coming out today, which was I didn't think it was going to come out today, so that was actually really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw it was up, I was giddy.
Oh,
I was so excited.
Absolutely.
And I guess we should get right into the episode. We just finished it, so this is a right after the episode knee-jerk reaction.
I guess we could just go right into spoilers.
Yeah.
Because I'll say this right before we do. It was a fantastic episode.
Oh, yeah.
Some action, a lot of story.
It's going to be...
And a lot of emotion in this one.
In the future, it's going to be viewed as a critical piece of Star Wars lore. It's going to be seen as so important. There's going to be clips of this 20, 30 years from now. Kind of like 20 years ago.
Yeah, with
all the scenes on Mustafar.
Yeah, and that.
And I believe it's that good. It's going to be, that entrenched. But I don't think there's any need to go for a long time without spoilers.
Yeah, not on this one, because usually we don't, like, the only time you really need to do that is on the first couple episodes.
Yeah,
and
this is just,
we're far enough in now that
weekly.
Like if it's already good, we'll just start at the very beginning and say, go watch it. It's really good. You need to go watch it. So we're far enough in to where we don't have to worry about that.
So, if you want to take us into the episode.
Well, we started off on the transport ship where Obi-Wan and Leia were when they left, I guess, Coruscant or whatever from Reva and the Grand Inquisitor. And they land on this random planet, what was it, Mapuzo?
Mapuza.
And
Mapuzo.
They're supposed to meet some sort of contact from that one...
Real quick before you go any further, in the previous episode we left off with Darth Vader being inside his chamber pod.
Yeah, his pod.
That's important to note there.
Man, can't forget that.
Man, that made me so happy to see.
Hayden Christensen.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, go on, continue. I just wanted to throw that out there before we get too far in.
But they're just, walking around trying to find this contact and...
Obi-Wan explains to Leia that Mapuzo is kind of a desolate planet because... So now it's just more of a mining town.
Yeah.
And we run into Fred.
Yep.
The giant mole.
The mole. Mole man.
And I think it's important that Kumal led him into nowhere. There was no help.
No.
They're just standing in the middle of the desert.
Of course.
And that's what I expect from Kumal.
I love the dynamic between Leia and Obi-Wan.
They really delved into that.
At first, it was like, I didn't really like. It was just there. It was all right. And then, I guess I'm getting more attached the further we go on because of how well written Leia is.
The actress playing Leia is fantastic.
Yeah, she's
got so much spirit.
She's doing really well for the character, and how would Leia have acted younger?
And it dawned on me after seeing the message from Ewan McGregor earlier talking about Obi-Wan on his Twitter that they're actually dressing Obi-Wan to look old. Like they're trying to make him look old, and he still looks young. The man looks 30 years old in his Twitter video, and they're trying to make him an old man, and he still doesn't look old.
Trying to make him old Ben.
Old Ben. I need to know what he's doing. I need to know what kind of skincare routine this man has.
Yeah.
I need to know how he lives his life, because he's, 51 years old?
Something like that.
I'm going to touch on this every episode because it blows me away. This man has found the fountain of youth.
Absolutely.
He should look, he's in his 50s. He should look a little rough. Not in his prime.
No, yeah. He looks identical, pretty much, to how he did in the Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, he really did. And so they hitch a ride in the middle of nowhere with Fred, the giant mole type creature. And while they're going, Fred kind of shows his position as a Empire guy, an Empire sympathetic type person.
He says he likes the Order.
He loves
they
the
brought
Order
to the galaxy.
Oh, that's worth a little old war. And everybody, I think everybody at home went, ooh, okay. And then
he stops for a minute to pick up a few random Imperial soldiers.
Yeah.
That scene was kind of intense.
Yeah, and Obi-Wan and Leia tell a story of how they're farmers and
they're from this town or planet, and they came to see family because his wife died, and it's a whole convoluted story.
Obi-Wan slips up and says the word Leia.
Yep.
And he comes back with one of the smoothest lines ever to save, and he said, just reminded me of your mother.
Yeah, he's like, you said Leia.
I thought
her name was this. And he's like, yeah, when I see her, she just looks like her mother.
And all the Star Wars fans knew that line worked because he wasn't lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no lies detected there. Man. And then that almost got me teary-eyed. Like,
thinking about the past.
And, man, Padme,
yep.
And things worked out for her. She went to heaven, and she's going to be Thor. So, it worked out in the next life. But in this one,
yeah,
it's sad.
Yeah.
So, old Fred, the mole, he gets him up to the gate where there's tons of stormtroopers, and
it's a routine stop.
It's
like a
routine
little check.
stop. But the probe droid comes in.
Yeah.
And spills the beans.
So Obi-Wan has to...
That's when the probe droid is like reading his face.
Scanning him.
Like scanning him, trying to figure out who it is. And right when it recognizes him, he shoots it. Well, just a second too late, he shot it.
Just blows it up.
Then, now they know who he is.
And
then everyone just starts shooting. There's a firefight there. It's awesome.
No, yeah.
The firefight was really good. And we got to see some really gruesome deaths. Like one
guy got
shot straight off of the
roof.
Yeah,
of that building.
It was
tower
a
thing.
Wonderful fight scene.
Yeah.
And
the lookout is what it is.
And he gets through the gate after kind of getting through those stormtroopers, and then basically a battalion of stormtroopers shows up.
Yeah,
10
like
of
4
them.
more or something.
Well, not a battalion, but like a platoon.
Squad.
And as soon as they think it's over, basically the general of these guys, these stormtroopers, just shoots them all.
Yeah.
And we're all shot to reveal...
his contact, was it Kumail's contact, Tala?
Tala. And Tala reveals herself as a person who's been helping Jedi all along.
Yeah.
I wonder if she has something to do with that one guy from the comedy guy from the previous episode. Yeah.
I think the only thing that
really
she
don't
actually...
think so.
I think the only contact that she's had with any other Jedi was the one in the first episode.
I think Kumail just lied to get him to go.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't that transport bot the same one from the start of the movie? Remember that bot? That was
the one that they were hiding from?
Yeah, the one that was staring the other way?
It was.
That's the same bot.
It was yellow. It looked like Master Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, Master Chief.
So, if that's the same bot, then, maybe.
Yeah. So Tala takes him into town and takes him into a little workshop room where you see a bunch of drawings from old Jedis, and
it was used as a getaway, a hideout and a getaway on that planet.
But Obi-Wan, when he shot the probe droid, it wasn't before it recognized him.
Mm-hmm.
And we went deep into nostalgia. That took us back to Mustafar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we went over the lava, and we saw in the pod.
Yeah, and we saw him get out. All the machines, his arms, his legs.
Oh my goodness, man. Every time I think of Kylo Ren, I'm like, this is what we wanted.
Yeah.
We did not want Kylo Ren. We wanted Vader.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it was awesome.
Yeah. Then we get the meeting of the third sister.
The third sister, Reva.
Talking to
Reva
Darth Vader.
and Darth Vader, and she's basically saying, I want the Grand Inquisitor's spot.
I want the job. And Vader, you know him. He's a crazy mercenary. He's like, you do anything for me and I'll promise you anything. Doesn't mean I won't cut you down later.
Yeah.
I don't need you. But
he said, you do it, you get the job done.
If you fail me, you won't live to regret it.
Yeah. I mean, is that the kind of deal you two would make a person you make a deal with?
No,
I wouldn't be making a deal with Vader. I don't trust him.
He's not gonna just keep his word. Like, oh, you told me you would. I don't trust him.
I ain't doing that.
Man,
you can trust him about as much as you can trust Palpatine.
Every time I see, every time I see Mustafar, it's just a flood of emotion.
Yeah.
Like, I think of that scene every time.
Yeah. The Duel of Fate.
I've got the high ground. But.
And then we have the scene with when she goes back there to tell the other Inquisitors, I spoke to Vader, and he told me that I'm running this shindig. And the fifth brother was not happy about that. He said, "I'm gonna get."
Awesome.
He said, "I'm gonna get what I want, and I want the Grand Inquisitor."
And so they're kind of in a power struggle.
And he should get it.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a senior man on the job.
Yeah.
He's bad.
It's
awesome.
It's just another Sith tradition of infighting and trying to be number one.
The dark side's always got. They play politics, but they play more dirty. Like they'll just murder is in their way.
Down.
Yeah. So
what ended up happening, I think, where we left off with Obi-Wan, was it recognized his face, which sent it to the
Inquisitors.
The fifth brother.
Oh yeah, and he told Vader without the third sister's involvement.
And so they're in a power struggle, and so they go to the planet that Obi-Wan's on, and they're looking for him. And eventually,
and they show up near the closest town to where he was spotted.
Yeah, she takes Obi-Wan and Leia to this town, and they go inside this shop that's got a hidden room in the back. And
so they see drawings of Jedi in the past, and it's found out it's a tradition of them helping Jedi over the last 10 years, changing their identities, give them a new life. And then they show this. They open the door to these tunnels, this passageway,
and it's supposed to lead straight to the transport ship.
Yeah.
To get them out.
We should also mention that at the very start, Obi-Wan was talking to trying to get in touch with Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon again.
Yeah.
And also, Obi-Wan was seeing hallucinations of Anakin out in the desert.
Yeah.
Or what looked to be Anakin out there before him and Leia ran into the stormtroopers.
And as soon as they go through this tunnel, Obi-Wan looks like he's having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's struggling to stand.
He feels a strong presence in the Force that makes him physically react.
Yeah, like he showed his age. He was having a pulmonary episode. He was having a legit heart attack.
Yeah.
And you find out it's basically the biggest disturbance in the Force possible.
Well, we see that the stormtroopers have arrived in the town, and then not only the stormtroopers, the Inquisitors, 3 of the Inquisitors,
and the big reveal,
the man himself.
Darth Vader.
Yeah,
he can walk, he can move, he can swing a lightsaber, and if you weren't just impressed enough seeing Vader and you forgot who he was, he just walks through this town killing men, women, and children with the Force.
Yep.
The first, he Force chokes a guy from his house out the window,
and
chokes him out.
What did he do?
And the kid comes out, his son, I guess, came running out. He just pushes him against the wall and then snaps his neck.
Snap the kid's neck. It was a child, man.
Another youngling.
And
and then
we know he doesn't mind killing kids.
And then on the left, there was this woman, just cowering and, trying to stay out of his way. And what does he do? He just starts dragging her down the road.
For no reason. And Obi-Wan's just sitting there in shock that he's even seeing Anakin
that
again.
He knew it was Anakin too, even behind the mask.
He's like, oh my gosh,
wow.
This is very bad.
So they send Leia and Tala down the runway.
Obi-Wan says, you go down to the transport ship and I'll draw them away.
And I'm guessing, that's why, because he can sense Obi-Wan. And so he would have eventually found the path and followed him down through there. And so Leia and
Tala.
And Tala. They go through. They're on their way through the tunnel, getting to where a guy will help them escape.
It's the transport ship.
Yeah,
that's where they're trying to get
back to where Leia lives in Alderaan.
So Obi-Wan comes out the back and
basically just lures Vader after
Vader, and then we see a scene that we've been waiting 20 years to see. One-on-one, Obi-Wan and Vader. And Obi-Wan
seeing each other for the first time.
Just looking at each other menacingly.
Yeah. And then Vader turns on his lightsaber as if he's about to, they're about to have a round 2 of the Duel of Fates.
Yeah.
And
Obi-Wan runs.
Straight up runs, and I'm like, yes.
I was under the impression that they didn't have a fight until A New Hope. I mean,
I figured at some point they would have had to run into each other.
37 years later.
It makes you really want to rewatch A New Hope just to see their first reaction to each other again.
Well, I remember
it makes
they
sense
just kind
with Leia because
said my old master.
Yeah, they just kind of addressed each other. But this is the first time it's like he actually knew that it was, that he was still alive.
Every time Vader hits that saber, it's an epic scene. It's an epic moment. And I was so shocked sitting there. I was like, I thought this was going to be like a finale type deal.
Yeah.
No.
We've already got
right on 3.
Obi-Wan just...
And another cool thing is, I'll tell you one thing, and while Obi-Wan's running away, he'll turn on his lightsaber and look.
You can tell he's scared.
Out of nowhere, Vader just appears like a ghost.
Yeah.
He's smart.
Like those Nazgul on the top of Weathertop. Those Nazgul that come out of the darkness in Weathertop.
To be perfectly fair, he's wearing all black at night.
Yeah.
So that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
I can see his buttons on his shirt. His respirator.
Yeah.
So Obi-Wan, he's scared. He looks like a scared, little child.
He looks shocked. He looks really shocked.
Vader hits his lightsaber, and Obi-Wan hits his lightsaber. What a moment.
Yeah. They're crossing paths once again.
I was just a little kid again. I was just like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they finally go at it.
They
start fighting.
They start fighting.
It's not
Obi-Wan's
a long
not
fight scene.
Well, here's the thing. Obi-Wan's not really trying to fight. He's really just defending himself.
You can tell Obi-Wan is still rusty. It's been so long since he's been in hiding.
He's still got it. He's down.
Well,
his force abilities are so incredible.
Yeah, and Obi-Wan's been hidden for so long, not being able to train or use the force, so he's rusty. Meanwhile,
and we get a great
Leia
fight.
And Tala are running through the tunnel, and Tala decides, I'm going to go back and save Obi-Wan.
You just run to the transport.
And you run to the transport. Mm-hmm. And while that's happening, Reva is looking through the building that the robot just left where the Jedis were hidden in that room, and she sees she finds the entrance, and she sees the old Jedi symbol.
So she knows what's going on.
And she knows gets it's mad, Republic. Slams stuff, finds a secret passage. The only thing I don't understand is how she got on the other side of the tunnel when she was going into
I think those tunnels
through.
Are supposed to be elaborate because it looks like it goes into a mountain.
I guess so, but that's the only part that kind of confused me. I was like, how the crap did you get all the way at the start, kill that guy before Leia? Because they were already in that tunnel for a good while before she even found him.
I think Leia just got confused because she didn't know the layout, where Tala did, but she had to leave to help Obi-Wan.
And then we cut back to, Tala goes back to help Obi-Wan, and we don't see her for a bit, and then you see it cuts back to Obi-Wan fighting, and that's back,
and
Darth Vader.
Vader goes full Force mode, grabs Obi-Wan by the neck, lifts him off the ground with the Force, lights a fire in between them with his saber and some magnesium.
Yeah, it looked like he sliced open the fuel shards went everywhere. Some
fuel magnesium shards.
Yeah.
And he said, "You're going to suffer, Obi-Wan."
Yeah, and
you sure did.
He put him through the same thing that happened to him.
To
a degree.
He drug him through the
through fire.
I wasn't expecting that. Actually.
I wasn't either.
Just like I wasn't expecting the stormtrooper to get cleaved.
Anakin was.
I didn't see Alec Guinness favoring that shoulder. And burn his shoulder off. I mean,
Anakin burnt Obi-Wan alive. He was burning him.
Burning him. I mean, it looked like...
And just dragging him through the fire.
It screwed up his outer layer of his shoulder, but I think, it'll heal. It'll look bad.
I don't think he was in it too long.
It'll look bad, but
I don't think any, structural damage was done.
Yeah.
It was just proving a point.
He said, "This is just the beginning of your torture."
And so pretty much he puts out the fire and he says, "Go grab him and bring him to me."
Yeah, because he force pushes him out of the fire and throws him.
Yeah, so...
Because he wants him left alive. He doesn't want him to die.
And then Tala...
And as the stormtrooper is approaching Obi-Wan to capture him, Tala snipes that stormtrooper.
Snipes him.
And then
Obi-Wan
shoots the fuel pod. And then it reignites
Vader and the stormtroopers.
Yeah, reignites the fire.
He should
to
be.
Get to Obi-Wan.
And Vader respects fire.
Yeah, he doesn't mess with fire.
He's like, I'm not walking through.
I'm kind of surprised with all that flame and stuff that he was so cool because wouldn't he have some.
Trauma,
like the Hound, he can't.
Some trauma.
He'd just break down. McVicker. Ooh. But anyway, that droid comes in and pulls away Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And he's just laying there, just his shoulders all charred up and his ribs, it looks like. And it's...
Tala's like, "We're going to help you. Yeah. We're going to get you better, and we're going to get that transport ready."
Cut back to Leia.
They leave, and then Vader leaves.
Oh, yeah, Vader.
Because Obi-Wan escaped with some help. And then it cuts back to
Leia, and she says...
And she gets to the end of the tunnel, and she says, "Are you the one I'm supposed to meet?" And it cuts, and there's Reva.
Reva standing there, yeah. And that was the end of the episode.
And that's where we ended. She killed the transport guy, and that was it.
What a powerful, powerful episode.
Mm-hmm.
That episode was so full of nostalgia. It was Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. Did you hear what I just said? In a lightsaber battle. Do you know what that would have meant before? If you were, let's just say you saw A New Hope when you were young.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that means a lot to you 45 years later?
That's something you didn't get in A New Hope was Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan, old Ben. Because he was, obviously, old Ben was too old, and their lightsaber duel consisted of...
Well, they did the best they could. They were both old.
I know. Yeah. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Vader was a robot, and old Ben was old Ben.
But to see it again...
Yeah.
Oh, to see,
You got to see a younger Obi-Wan versus a robot Darth Vader.
A 51-year-old Obi-Wan, a younger man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted, was to see, Obi-Wan have the realization Anakin is still alive, because he left him on that planet. Assumed him dead.
I mean, he's literally almost having a heart attack every time
he thinks
Anakin
about
is around.
Yeah.
So, but I'd like to add this. It's official that the opening first 2 episodes of the premiere was the most watched Disney Plus series of all time.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, you know why? It's because it was Obi-Wan.
It's what all the fans wanted. We went through all this junk, useless series, all these TV shows, even though they're good, don't get me wrong.
Mando.
Yeah. To get the number... This is what all of us wanted.
Everybody
this is what we wanted.
Yeah.
We would have I think if you would have polled, this random poll and say, after 2005, and you got close to when they did The Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah.
And you would have polled people and said, what's the number one thing we can do? Like
for Star Wars fans.
They just said, we want something with Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
And we want Ewan McGregor.
Yep.
You know, you might get some people. We want to do the, Skywalker back, sure. But Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
They would not have said the Skywalker trilogy with all new characters. And, well, I mean, Han.
I mean, he's not new.
I think people would have took Obi-Wan.
Well, people have been wanting this ever since they announced a Han Solo story or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, where are we going to go?
Ever since they announced that movie,
yeah,
people were against that movie because they didn't want it, number one. They didn't ask for it. And ever since then is when everyone got in an uproar about Kenobi and they wanted it.
And in like 2013, so that's like 9 years ago, Ewan McGregor was on Jimmy Fallon and they were like, do you want to play Obi-Wan? All this is coming back. And he's like, yes, I want to play. And the crowd was going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't?
And he's like, I'm the proper age for the timeline. And everyone's like, yeah, we know. But there was this weird thing that people hated the prequel trilogy. Remember, that stigma was there forever.
I don't get it. Mm-hmm. You know,
so they didn't want to make it. And then when Han Solo failed,
I was listening.
You know what's funny about all that? Like, fans of the originals, the original three, hated the prequels. We grew up watching prequels, so we loved it. And to be honest,
love it all.
I mean, this is going to be a little controversial, but I don't think that the original three aged as well, except they aged better than the Phantom Menace, but they did not age as well as the Clone Wars and
Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith,
and Revenge of the Sith.
I just Revenge of the Sith
is the greatest Star Wars film.
I think. I guess it's depending on what time you grew up and what you grew up watching.
Yeah.
But I prefer the prequels over the original three.
Anyone over the age of 40, they're going to tell you that the old trilogy.
And that's fine. And you know what's funny? Ever since the new Star Wars movies came out, everyone, even the old Star Wars fans, love the prequels now.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like.
Yeah, so.
Ever since we got crap, then people are like, you know what? The prequels were bad. Yeah, they were pretty good. I was Obi-Wan.
I was listening to an interview with Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, he is Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Obi-Wan, and he was talking to the guy, and he said, when the prequels came out, the critics' reviews were not too good of it, so all of them, when they were making the movies, they said, I guess nobody really likes these movies because the critics don't like it. And they couldn't hear the fans because social media wasn't a thing.
Hayden Christensen he's been dogged. I mean, I think he said that he has viewed it for a long time as a failure. Mm-hmm. And that is so wild to me.
And to be honest, he's not the greatest actor in the world. Like,
he played a role, Like,
he read what was written.
I don't know if it was the writing for Anakin.
It wasn't great.
Like, the sand thing and him having like a relationship with a 30-year-old senator, and he's like 4.
Josh, first of all, she was like in her 20s.
It doesn't make it any better. It doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, but he never had a relationship with her. I mean, he had a crush on her, but she's going to do anything.
We're getting a little off track.
Then she gets 30 and he's like 20, late teens.
Well, look, man, I think it all paid off with that battle in Revenge of the Sith. Like, maybe you didn't like him here. I didn't really like a Phantom Menace that much.
Yeah.
But
it had good moments.
Yeah, I know. But it's all culminated to the best Star Wars movie I've ever seen, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
I love Revenge of the Sith.
It's kind of like you can accept the bad when you know where it's headed.
Yeah.
It's used to get to a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
And Attack of the Clones, I love that movie.
Oh, absolutely.
It's fantastic. And I have Revenge of the Sith, but A New Hope, I can almost interchange A New Hope is the best movie. When you really get down to it, and you just watch that movie scene by scene, it's so good.
I'd say it
means
greatest,
so much.
Yeah.
I'd say the two best are A New Hope.
It's clearly A New Hope.
And Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. They're clearly 1 and 2.
And the sad thing is, Force Awakens was actually really good.
It was a really good
that,
movie.
it just went so bad.
I enjoyed The Force Awakens a lot. It had some weird plot holes, but that's not what we're talking about.
Well, so did the originals with the Death Star, which they fixed with Rogue One, which I actually love that movie. The second half of Rogue One is absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, I love that movie.
They spent a long time, prepping that story up.
Yeah.
And then we got to see that huge battle.
Mm-hmm.
But is there anything else you think you want to add about Kenobi Episode 3? Just that I'm blown away. I mean, that's
it was amazing.
10 out of 10. Nostalgia. Yeah. I can't wait till Wednesday next week.
It gave me everything I needed quicker than I thought.
It makes me really curious to see what else we'll see.
What are we going to see?
Because that was huge.
That right there is what I was hanging my hat on seeing eventually.
At the finale. That you thought that would be at the finale.
That's Vader doing the lightsaber battle with Anakin. That was like the thing. That's the big payoff.
And that happened in Episode 3.
But
we got 5 to go.
I know. Well, no. It's only 6 episodes.
Oh, is it? Really?
Yeah. So, it's not that early. It's halfway through, technically.
Oh, man, that's
So, you saw it at half. Yeah.
What is it with shows nowadays? I don't get it.
So, I guess if we're done with Obi-Wan, just next week, Zachary and I will be doing Stranger Things episodes 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be doing Kenobi episode 4 next week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if you haven't yet, check out episode 1 and 2 of Kenobi. And we got our Dumb Dominos Twitter, YouTube. We got Spotify, SoundCloud, and eventually Apple.
Putting clips on TikTok. Eventually Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, we'll get there.
And do you think me and you are going to do The Boys starting next week? Or we'll do that the next week.
We'll probably have to.
We'd watch it, and then we'd give it a week, do episode 1 and 2.
Yeah. And how many episodes of The Boys are there?
I don't know. That's a great question. And, is it going to be weekly episodic, or are they going to put them all out? That'll have a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll have Jurassic World Dominion. We'll try to get that out as soon as we watch it. We'll do that episode on the way home. With our series car ride review.
And then we'll probably do one the day after where we sit down and talk about it.
Yeah, we'll let it marinate, and then we'll do it. But I think that's pretty much it.
Oh, and tomorrow is the PlayStation State of Play.
So Josh and Zachary will be doing that, and we'll get that out to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dumb Dominos Podcast.
Yep.
We're out. Bye.